Hi guys, this is your 45-minute flow. So we're going to get right into it with Morgan and Mary. Thanks for joining us. So they're going to start in child's pose. Extend the arms forward. You can take your knees wide or you can take your knees close together, whatever feels better on your knees. And if your hips don't find their way back to the heels, you could slide a pillow or a blanket between your calves and your hamstrings, okay, for some support. Make sure you have anything you need around you before we start, a towel maybe for hamstrings, and then maybe a pillow or blocks if you have them, okay? So we're gonna start in this child's pose. Let your forehead just rest to the earth. You can maybe turn your head left and right, finding some softness into the neck, into the shoulders. And then when you're ready, you find a little stillness and start to really reach your arms forward. Press down into the fingertips. As you do that, start to lift your upper arm bones, spinning your biceps up to the sky and your triceps around towards the ground. So start to activate the arms. And then pull the shoulders back into the sockets, but stretch the fingertips long. And then take another round of breath, big, full, complete breath. Inhale nice and deep. And then maybe open mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Let out some of that anxiety, some of that worry that might be happening at this time. Another big breath in and a long breath out. And this time we inhale nice and long, maybe sit the hips a little further back towards the heels. And then start to walk your hands to the top left corner of your mat or whatever you're on. Just really walk them over and then sit into your right hip a little bit. So you're feeling lots of space in your right side body. Curl your right shoulder towards the earth, pull your right hip down, take a big breath into your right side, and then exhale back through center. Walk your hands all the way back through center. Take a breath for length, and then over to the right side. So walk your hands to the right, sit into the left hip, find lots of space there in your left side body. So if you can drop your left shoulder towards the ground, drop your left hip towards the ground, feel space. Big breath into the left side, nice. And then as you exhale, you're gonna walk your hands back through center again and prepare. Take a moment here to really draw the fingers into the earth. Your next breath in will pull you up into tabletop pose. So your shoulders will land right up over your hands. Hug your knees in under your hips. So your nice long line of energy from your fingertips to your shoulders and your knees to your hips. So zip up the belly, shoot your tailbone back behind you, reach the heart through the gateway of the arms, and then look right down between your thumbs to relax the neck. We'll start with some rounds of cat-cows. So your belly falls, your gaze rises, your tailbone lifts up, and then as you exhale, you push into your hands and your shins and inflate your upper back. Drop your head, look to your navel. That should feel pretty good on your shoulders. Breathe in, let your belly fall, your gaze rise. So we're starting to connect breath and movement, really moving through your breath. The breath pulls you out of this pose and rounds you into that cat. So as you breathe, you move. Your inhale pulls you into that cow pose. One more time. Let your belly fall, your gaze rise. Your exhale rounds you into that cat pose. Really inflate the upper back, finding some space in the shoulders. And then pause back through neutral spine. Give yourself a moment here. Go ahead and sweep your right arm up to the sky. Take a big breath. So maybe even perch to the left fingertips, get really high, and then draw your right shoulder underneath you. Lay to the side of your face, the ear, the shoulder. And then maybe take the left hand, kind of spider walk it forward and around behind you so you feel lots of space in your left side body. Yeah, you can wrap it behind your lower back, whatever you'd like to do. But whatever you're doing, really engage the back of the right shoulder into the ground and back of the hand. So the more you give, the more you receive. So push down into the pose. Maybe even take the left leg nice and long behind you, the ball of the foot on the ground if you want to challenge yourself, and breathe. Big breath into that right shoulder. Roll your heart open a little bit. If you took the left leg long, you bring it back to the earth. Left hand in front of your face. Push yourself right back up. Sweep your right arm up to the sky. Breath in. And replace the hands to the ground. So we're just going to stretch out the wrists a little bit. Spin the hands so that the fingers are facing you. The heels of the hands are down on the ground. We're going to take some rounds of cat-cow just like that. So your belly falls, your gaze rises, a little bend in the elbows. And then as you exhale, roll back into your cat pose and sit your hips towards your heels a little as you push the hands into the ground. You should feel a nice release into the forearms. And just move with breath just like that. You can take a few rounds of cat-cow if you want, or maybe you just stay in that pose, pressing the heels of the hands into the ground. Does this feel good? Yes. Should feel pretty good, especially after that bi and shoulder workout you guys did yesterday, gripping all those bands, right? One more time. And then come on back into neutral. One at a time, you're gonna take your hands, just maybe shake them out, replace them down on the ground, and we'll go right over to the other side. Right hand moves a little more central, left arm reaches way up to the sky. Create some space, and then dive the left shoulder underneath you. Lay to the side of the face. And then anything you like to do with this right hand, you can kind of move it around. You can take it behind you. Be mindful that the hips aren't kind of diving to one side, that the belly is pulled up and in, and the tailbone is shooting straight back. Now really push down into what's on the earth to feel some release into the left shoulder and the back. And then just breathe, right? Notice if your breath has kind of left you. See if you can take big, full, complete inhales. Nice, long, deep exhales. One more round of breath. Maybe extend the right leg back behind you. Maybe the ball of the foot comes to the earth. Find a little stretch into the calf and the Achilles. Breathe in, breathe out. And then when you're ready here, you unwind the right hand, right knee to the ground, push yourself back up, sweep that left arm up to the sky for a moment, and hands to the earth. Good. So walk your hands forward, just maybe like a half hands breath. Curl your toes under and take yourself up to downward facing dog. So you'd curl your toes under. Let your feet be nice and wide, at least hip width distance, that's 2 fist distance, maybe more. And then let your knees be really soft, right? So everything that's on the ground, you're gonna root into the fingertips and the hands to lift the tailbone higher, all right? And then maybe pedal this out. Bend one knee, and then the other, kind of sass out the hips, breathe, breathe, breathe. Yeah, really nice, wiggle and wag the tail. And then bend your knees a lot, push your chest back to your thighs, and wag your tail like a puppy that wants to play. So there's a little bit of space happening there. Dogs do this for a reason. It feels really good in the back, right? And then find your way back to downward facing dog when you're ready. Really nice. From here, you're gonna start to walk your hands back to your feet at the back of your mat. So push into your hands and hang in a forward fold of your choice. The more bent your knees are, the nicer this is going to feel on your lower back, right? If you have a pillow handy right next to you from the couch or whatever, slide it right up in between your belly and your thighs and give yourself a little bit of support. And that should feel nice. Yeah, shake your head yes, shake your head no. You can release the head, neck, and shoulders. If you've been grabbing opposite elbow, you can switch your grip, which should feel pretty funky. So let that happen. And then when you're ready, you release your hands. Heel toe your feet back together at the back of your mat. Let your hands slide up your shins and take your first flat back. Your sternum reaches to the front of the room. The tailbone shoots back. Gaze straight down in front of your toes. And fold on your exhale. Let that pull you down. We're gonna do 2 more of those. Inhale, ripple up. Find that flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Really zip up the belly when you go there. One more time. Breathe it up. Squeeze. Exhale to fold. This time we're gonna come all the way to standing. Reach yourself all the way up overhead. Gather up your breath. If you're dizzy, keep your hands down. Take your hands to your heart. Exhale. Inhale, sweep those arms all the way up. So we're starting to move and flow a little bit now. Exhale to fold. Pour yourself right over your thighs. Yes, perfect. Let your knees be soft. Inhale, find that flat back. Exhale to forward fold, and then take a walk out to plank pose. So your knees can find the earth at any point on this little journey out to plank. Or you can stay with the toes curled under and the heels pressing back. I want you to try to find your whole body, right? Recruit your whole body for this plank pose. Reach your heart through the gateway of your arms. Keep wrapping the biceps in as if you're holding something under your arm and you're trying to squeeze it from dropping. And then fire up the legs. Inner thighs to the sky, heels stretch straight back. Okay, so use your whole body. It should feel like a lot of effort. From here, on knees or toes, you're gonna lower all the way to the ground. Let yourself come all the way down. Yes, really nice. Slide your hands back a tiny bit so that the elbows are up over the wrist. Try to squeeze your arms to touch on your upper back. The tops of your feet are on the ground. The shoelace side of your foot. Push down so much that your knees come off the ground. And then lift your chest to your chin, cobra pose. Your hips stay on the ground. Your hands are really light into the earth. Exhale to lower down. Good. From here, you can push right up through your knees. And then to downward facing dog, right up through your tabletop. Yeah, you got it. So that's a basic vinyasa. Feel free to stay with that. As we progress, I'm gonna offer you different ways to bump that up and make it a little more active. But feel free to skip it all together and step to down dog or go through that variation. This time we'll lift our heels on a breath in, we'll bend our knees, and then we'll tiptoe our feet to our hands. Take a little walk to the front of your mat, knuckles of your big toes together. Find that flat back, heart lifts. Inhale, good. Exhale, fold down. Root through your heels, come all the way to stand. Reach those arms all the way up overhead. Gather up your breath, hands to heart. Exhale. Good. Couple rounds of suns. Breath in, sweep those arms all the way up. Big breath in. Exhale to pour over your thighs. Let yourself go, forward fold. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, plant the hands. We step to plank here and pause. So just be mindful of what foot you're stepping back with. See if you can maybe alternate those. Take a moment here to find length, and then all the way down on your exhale. Let it go. All the way to the ground. Yeah, on knees or toes. Inhale to your cobra pose. Little lift. Squeeze the heart up. Push the tops of the feet. Hips stay down on the ground. Exhale to lower down. From here, you can curl your toes under and push straight up to plank, and then downward facing dog, or make a little pit stop through your knees like we did the first time. Breath in and breath out. So this is really just the warm up, right? These suns, this is not really part of the practice, which is not fair because it can be a lot of work. All right, breath in and breath out. One more time, we lift our heels, we bend our knees, we move to the front of our mat, walk, skip, or float. I don't care how you get there, it's up to you. Heart lifts, inhale. Fold, exhale. Nice. Inhale to sweep those arms all the way up. Breath in, big breath. Hands to heart, exhale. Nice. Inhale, sweep those arms up. So moving on, you can stay with that or you're gonna bump it up. Exhale to forward fold. Really nice. Inhale, present the chest, hands slide up the shins. Exhale, plant your hands, step to plank one more time here and pause. From here, all the way down and take the cobra poses, or halfway down, elbows tap your ribs, shoulders stay at the level of the elbows, and it's the tops of your feet only to the ground and your hands. Shoulders come out of the ears, downward facing dog as you exhale, hips up and back. Breath in and breath out. So when you're lowering down, just be mindful you're not blowing through that chaturanga, or you're gonna pause with your shoulders at the level of the elbows. Take a breath to lift your heels, bend your knees, and then move yourself to the front of your mat. Nice. Heart lifts on the inhale, fold on the exhale. Inhale to sweep those arms all the way up. Breath in, hands to your heart. Exhale. One more time, Surya Namaskar A. Breath in, sweep those arms up. Exhale to forward fold. Pour yourself over your thighs. Inhale to lift the chest. Plant the hands. Either float to that low push-up or step to plank. All the way down or halfway down. Nice. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale to take it to downward facing. Right away, we lift the heels, we bend the knees, we empty our breath and move our feet to the front of our mat. Heart lifts on the inhale, nice. Fold on the exhale. Come all the way to standing, reach up, stretch up overhead. Take your hands to your heart. Exhale. Bring your feet together, your knees together. Sit your hips nice and low like you're sitting in a chair. Chair pose. Hands can stay at the heart. They can fly up overhead, whatever feels best for your shoulders. And then notice some length through your back body. See if you can drop your tailbone, zip up your navel, and then knit your front ribs together. Right? Find some action in the front of the body. Squeeze the knees. These look good. Are we getting warm yet? Yes. Take a breath in and then fold. Let it go. Yeah, so we're gonna move through our sun salutation B. Heart lifts on the inhale, hands will plant. You can take it through that vinyasa, plant your hands, float to chaturanga, step to plank, or you skip it all and just step right back to down dog. You always have permission to do that, right? From downward facing dog, we're gonna start to open the hips just a little bit. So from here, I want you to pick up your right leg to the sky, just about hip height, right? So like you're moving through honey or water, try to press the heel to the back wall, and then notice if you're collapsing into the left side. See if you can pull the left hip way up and back, soften the left heel to feel the left hamstring start to act. From here, you're gonna round your nose into your knee, come forward into plank, pause, push the floor away, get really big into your upper back, and then send that leg straight back up. Make sure you have enough space at home. Exhale, knee to nose, round it right in there, push into the fingertips, round the back. Inhale, send that straight back up. One more time. Pull the knee right in, pull it in. Now pause here, push down. Now create space into your hands and step your right foot to your right thumb. Warrior one, back heel pivots 45 degrees and come all the way up. So you want to be mindful to set your feet here. So this first round will go a little bit slowly so we can find our warrior so that when we come in quicker, you have a little bit of muscle memory. Your back foot is 45 degrees. It's facing the top left corner of your mat. And give yourself enough space, left and right, east and west, to be able to pull the left hip forward and the right hip up and back. And the same thing here, knit your ribs, lift your arms up overhead. If you have enough space in the shoulders, the palms come to touch and we press the palms together and we look straight up to the thumbs. Really activate the shoulders. Drop into the hips, find the left hamstring, one more round of breath, and then let it go, hands to the ground. Step back to plank. You either vinyasa through or you take it right to down dog. Yeah, so Morgan's doing a nice single leg, can always float that leg. Left leg to the sky once you arrive and pause. So pick up the left leg, just hip height, that's all we care about. Square the hips to the ground and then find the inner thigh of the left leg. Press the heel to the back wall, fire up the toes. So we want to really activate that posterior chain by moving the heel back and the toes down to the ground. So really rock that back. And then rock into the right heel a little more. Take your knee into your nose, left knee right in, push into the fingertips, round into the upper back, and send it back up. Breath in. Yes, exhale, squeeze it in. You guys look great. Pull it in, one more. Inhale, send it back up. And then go ahead and pull it in one more time. We pause here, pull it in, round, get really big into the upper back, drop the head, and then left foot, left thumb, warrior one. Nice, good, all the way up. Big breath in. Next time we come into these, they'll be a lot quicker, right? So just adjust, pull your right hip forward, your left hip up and back, and then find your right hamstring. Notice if that leg is kind of being lax, see if you can activate it. Drop your shoulders into their sockets, and then see if you can press the palms together, maybe look up if that feels good on the shoulders. If not, no worries, right? Big breath in. This is your practice. You do what feels good. Take another round of breath. And then when you're ready, you let it go. Take your hands to the ground. You can take it through vinyasas. You can step to down dog. My friends that have, handstand practice and all that good stuff, and you have space at home, feel free to fly through a handstand, whatever you want to do. Lift your heels, bend your knees, move your feet to the front of your mat. Heart lifts on an inhale, fold on an exhale. Drop those hips, find chair pose. Squeeze your knees, squeeze your feet, lift up, and then come all the way to standing. Take your hands to your heart. So we're gonna move that through that one more time. How are we doing, guys? Good. One breath, one movement, okay? Sit your hips low, chair pose, breath in. So you move as quickly as you breathe. You exhale, forward fold, let that go. Your heart lifts on an inhale, your hands plant to prepare. Take it through vinyasa or step it to down dog. Any variation of, right? Really nice. Ride the rhythm of your breath. That's really what we're after. Right leg to the sky on an inhale. Round the knee into the nose. Create space. Right foot, right thumb. Your inhale takes you all the way up to warrior one. Your exhale takes you all the way to the ground or to chaturanga. So that's one breath. Inhale to take your heart up. Exhale to move your hips back. Left leg to the sky, breathe it up like you're painting the back wall. Knee to nose, round it in, squeeze. Left foot, left thumb, warrior one. All the way up for an inhale, yeah. Take your time. Exhale, let it go. Hands to the ground. Take it through vinyasa or step it to down dog. Feeling free to skip the push-ups. Really, really nice. Lift your heels, bend your knees, feet to hands on empty breath. Let your heart rise for an inhale, fold on an exhale. Really nice. Drop your hips, chair pose. Sweep your arms up, come all the way to standing. Take your hands to your heart, really good. Let's add on, chair pose, breath in, sweep those arms up. Exhale to forward fold, pour yourself over your thighs. Heart lifts on an inhale, hands plant, take it through vinyasa or step to down dog. So this is where the kind of practice gets a little active, right? So if you don't want it to be active, you step back. Right leg to the sky, breath in. Take your knee into your nose, round into your upper back. Right foot, right thumb, warrior one. Come all the way up and pause. Big breath in here. Yeah, really nice job. Now as you exhale, you're gonna wing those arms behind you like a bird and reach your sternum forward, get parallel to the ground. So see if you can lean forward, look to your right toes. So your back foot is still rooting into the ground. Yeah, breathe, breathe, breathe. And then reach the heart towards the front of the room. Draw the left heel and tailbone straight back. Now hover your belly over your thighs. Notice if you've taken a little break and laying your belly right on your thighs. We don't want to do that. Now breathe, pull the right hip up and back. As you inhale, scoop your arms up like you want to get rid of something in your life that you don't need and throw it up over your shoulder. Take it right up. As you exhale, you come down to gather up a little bit more. So halfway down again, same thing. So moving with breath. Inhale, scoop something up, sweep it right up over your shoulder, throw it away. One more time. Exhale, go down. I'm sure there's more down there. Scoop something else up. And then exhale to release, hands to the ground. Pause with your hands on the ground. Pick up your back heel so you're in a lunge. Left hand will stay down, right arm will reach up, take a twist. Yes, so the back knee can find the ground if you feel like you need a little more support here. I want you to try to get out of your left shoulder, press down into the left fingertips to lift higher, higher into the right. Pin your right hip in and back, and then find your left hamstring. Yeah, these look great. So starting to open up this hip. Take one more round of breath in here, and then as you exhale, you're gonna release your right hand to the ground. and start to turn to your left. Turn to your left so all 10 of your toes are facing the side of your mat. Get your feet parallel. Take a flat back, heart lifts on an inhale, and then fold down on an exhale. Go ahead and let your hands go, maybe to blocks or the floor. Make sure you're not dumping into the backs of the heels. You're shifting some weight into the midsole of the foot. Pick up your kneecaps, activate the front of your body. So these wide-legged forward folds should feel pretty good on your lower back. Right? Feeling pretty good on the hamstrings. Take another round of breath in here and a long exhale. Really nice. One more round of breath, inhale. One last exhale. And then release your right hand underneath your face. Take your left arm either to your sacrum or straight up to the sky as you twist towards the back of your mat. Yeah, good. So you're gonna press that right hand into the ground so you're coming into almost like a flat back. So lift the chest. Yeah, you got it there. And then roll open, right? So you can start to spider walk this left hand back. Maybe it even catches your right hip. So you find a little like half bind and then pick up back and roll open. Yeah, just a little twist. When you do this, you might lean back a little, so see if you can move forward. Yeah, look down, look up, whatever feels best on your neck. When you're ready, you unwind this all the way down and then keep unwinding to the right. Bring yourself all the way back to a lunge facing the front of the room. So spin yourself all the way around. Yeah, from here, whatever you want to do to get back to downward facing dog is up to you. Plant your hands, either take it through vinyasa, maybe add some inversions, maybe add an arm balance, or maybe step right back. Really nice. Left leg to the sky, breath in here. Take your knee into your nose, round into your upper back. Step your left foot to your left thumb. Warrior one, we go. Inhale, sweep up, stretch up. Big breath. Yeah, so you're about halfway through your practice, guys. You're almost there. And the active stuff is coming to an end. So find yourself here in your warrior. Really find that back leg. Make sure your back toes are facing the top right corner of your mat. Then we're gonna scoop up some more stuff that we don't need. I'm sure there's more down there. Okay, so gather it down. Lean halfway and pause. So this first time we'll just pause. Look to your left toes. If you're all the way in, you can always drop your head, right? Maybe you interlace your hands like the girls have here, or maybe you sweep the arms out behind you like a bird, right? Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the heart, think up dog, think cobra, think lift to the chest, and then gather up something that's underneath you that doesn't need to be there, sweep it right up and throw it overhead. Big breath, so move to the rhythm of your breath. As you exhale, you go down for more. Yeah, let it go. Inhale, sweep something back up, throw it up over your head. Yeah, let it go one more time. Exhale. Inhale, pull yourself right back up. This time as you exhale, release your hands to the ground. Pause here. You're landing in a lunge. Right hand stays down, left arm reaches up for your twist. So make sure that right hand is directly underneath your shoulder. The right knee can find the ground if you're feeling like a little wobbly or that you need some more support. Yeah, breathe, breathe, breathe. Squeeze the shoulder blades down your back, lift your heart, pin your left knee in. Take another round of breath. Yeah, this should feel pretty good. Another breath to lift up a little higher, to open and spin. And then when you're ready, you let this go. Left hand to the ground. You're gonna take your walk to the right. So keep spinning. So now you're facing the wide edge of your mat. Your feet are parallel again here. Good, get those toes parallel. Yeah, take a flat back, heart lifts on an inhale. Exhale, fold down and pause. So if you want to go a little deeper this time, maybe you grab peace finger to big toes, or you can catch your shins and then pull yourself down. Let your elbows move forward and down. Yeah, really nice. If that doesn't feel good for you, let your knees bend, take your hands to the ground or to blocks or pillows. Lift the tailbone nice and high. Keep picking up your kneecaps and breathe. It's really about just being in a spot that might be mildly uncomfortable and just kind of noticing what the body does there, right? What the brain does mostly. Where does it take you? See if you can stay right here with the breath. When you're ready, you let that go. Your left hand will stay underneath your face. Lift your chest so you're in almost like a flat back. Your right hand can either sweep up to the sky and take a twist towards the back of your mat again, or it can wrap around to the sacrum or maybe even to the left hip. Depends on how much flexibility you have in that shoulder. And then when you do that, I want you to lean back. Really roll back towards the front of your mat. Yeah, so the head and chest, make sure your hips stay right and even with the ankles, so they're not dropping way back behind you. Yeah, pick up your knees, breathe, 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 roll it open. It's hard to breathe in these twists, so take your time. One more round of breath. When you're ready, you let that go. Hands to the ground. Perfect, and then just keep walking to your left so you land in a lunge facing the front of your mat. And again, take it back to down dog in any way that feels good so you can start to move with breath. Yeah, so we'll take ourselves through one more little flow here. Lift the heels, bend the knees, move your feet to your hands on empty breath. Let your heart lift on an inhale, fold on an exhale. Drop those hips for chair pose, sweep your arms up, breath in. Come all the way to standing. Take your hands to your heart. Really nice job. Sink your tail. Find chair pose. Breath in. Sweep those arms up. You got this. And then take your hands to your heart. So we're just going to add a little bit of a twist. So the option here would be just to keep your hands high and kind of twist with the thumbs connected to the sternum. If you have the ability to hook the elbow, you're going to take right elbow across your left thigh and twist to the left. So prayer twist over. And then the thumbs would stay in line with the sternum, the elbows would come north and south, right? I like to make a fist with my bottom hand and kind of push into it to revolve me a little bit more. Notice if your right knee is way forward of your left, see if you can zip up the knees, pull the right hip back and lengthen the right side. And then breathe. It's hard to breathe in these twists. So sit down as low as you can, keep the chest up above the level of the hips. For 3, yeah, big rounds of breath. Beautiful. For 2, you can look down if that feels better on your neck. Check it out, whatever feels best for you. And then inhale back through center, big inhale. Exhale, fold, let that go. Heel toe your feet hip width distance apart, maybe even wider. So the first time we forward folded, we did a ragdoll. You can feel free to do that ragdoll again. That's the best place for your back. If you have more space in the hamstrings, peace fingers to big toes, or just hang forward, right, with the legs straighter, if that feels okay. You want to keep the front of your body really lifted and engaged so that you're not collapsing into the heels and hyperextending into the backs of the knees, right? It's important to shift forward and insist that your front body stays really strong for you in these forward folds. That'll protect you. Shake out the head, stick out the tongue, wiggle the jaw around, find some softness into the face. You guys look great. And then when you're ready here, we release the hands, heel toe our feet back together. Sink your tail nice and low for chair pose, so prepare. And we prepare, we squeeze the knees, we sit down, we soften the toes, hands to your heart, and then either stay up nice and high and twist, or left elbow hooks across the right thigh, and we start to twist towards the right side. Really nice. So use your time, right? Take your time to kind of wedge the elbow in there, maybe make a fist with the bottom hand, push into it, and then lean back. So the chest and starting to open, you're starting to lean back behind you a little bit, pull the left hip up and back. Yeah, find lots of space and zip up the knees, squeeze. Use the strength of the legs to hold you here. Breathe for 3. Big rounds of breath. Be long. Good for 2. Can smile a little bit, it's just yoga. For 1, inhale, come back through center and fold, let it go. Yes, nice job. This time we're gonna heel toe our feet all the way out to the edges of our mat. We're gonna give our hips a little bit of a break, maybe even off your mat, depending upon how much space you need. Toes can slightly come outside of the heels, and then drop down from malasana or your squat, your yoga squat. Yeah, we won't be here very long. You can always take hands to thighs. You can drop those feet way down. Yeah, you can put your heels, you can put your heels right on the mat. There you go. And then lean back as if you're leaning up against a wall. So the idea is that the heart lifts up, the tailbone drops down. So the navel lifts right up to the chest, the tailbone descends. Push your elbows into your knees into your elbows. Create some tension to lift through the crown of the head. And then I like to drop my chin here and gaze to my fingertips. It usually feels pretty good on the back of my neck and shoulders. Take a round of breath here. And then when you're ready, your hands will come to the ground. You'll pick up your hips, you'll parallel out your feet, and then however you want to get back to downward facing dog is up to you. So make your way back. You can just step right back. You can take it through vinyasa, whatever you'd like to do. We have one more little sequence to do before we hit the mat and come into some deeper stretches. Right leg up to the sky for a breath in here. This time squeeze your heel to your bum and yawn your hip open. Yeah, really nice. So try to kick your butt with your right heel. Pretend like you were holding an orange behind your right knee and you're trying not to drop it. And notice if you're kind of collapsing into the left side body, pull the left hip way up and back and the left heel towards the ground. Really nice. As you inhale, square that off. Extend the right leg straight back behind you. Take your knee into your nose, round into your upper back. Right foot, right thumb, warrior 1. Same thing we did before. We sweep the arms all the way up. One time we're gonna lean forward, hinge forward, parallel that chest down, just like we did the first couple rounds. Your inhale will scoop you all the way back up. Your exhale will open you to warrior two. Right toes forward, left foot parallel to the short end of your mat. Take time to adjust. If you need to relax the shoulders, just let the hands drip and swing. Maybe you take your hands to your heart, whatever feels best for you. Your gaze is over the front middle finger traditionally, but really whatever's best, right? Shoulders land right up over the hips, and you breathe. You breathe. Maybe your eyes closed today. Drop the shoulders out of the ears. Create some space. Yeah, really nice. Big full round of breath in here. Flip the right palm. Don't straighten the right leg, but lean way up. Try to touch the back corner of the room with your right fingers. Slide into your right shin. There's no weight in your left hand. It's really, really light. As you exhale, right forearm taps to right thigh. And your left arm can make some big circles just to release the shoulder. So I like to do a little Guitar Hero action, right? Let the arm just swing, rock around, and then wherever it lands is up to you. It can come straight up to the sky, it can come forward, palm down, bicep by the ear, or it can stay at the hip if that's a better spot. Now roll open, lean back. Suck the right hip under and up, push into your left foot. And then if you want to challenge yourself, the way to challenge yourself is not necessarily to go deeper in the right hand, but to take that hand away completely. Yeah, and breathe. One more round of breath. Gotta breathe. Push into your back foot, pull yourself right back up, warrior two. Exhale, let that go, hands to the ground. Perfect, good. From here, all you're gonna do is drop your left knee to the earth, and we'll take a little side plank with the left knee on the ground. So your right leg is gonna swing back behind you, left hand directly underneath your shoulder. Open up towards the side, right arm can come up to the sky. Yeah, good. Yep, so you can drop that left knee to the ground. If you don't need the left knee on the ground, Morgan's come into full plank here. You can stack the feet. Feel free to do that. If you have the left knee on the ground, you can always feel free to float the back knee, the top leg as well, right? And breathe. Now push down to lift up. Maybe you make some circles in the right shoulder as well, right? Forward to the front, big swooping circles. Yeah, you got it. One more breath. Lift up. And then hands to the ground, let that go. Either take it through vinyasa or take it to down dog. This is your last flow, right? You only have two sides, thank goodness. This is the only one left, and then we're finding the earth. Left leg to the sky, breath in, bend your knee, squeeze your heel to your bum, and yawn your hip open. Yes, you got it, yawn that hip right open. Notice any collapsing in the right side body. Pull the right hip way up and back, soften the right heel towards the ground. Try to touch your heel to your bum. Yeah, squeeze, lift up, find some space in the psoas and hip flexor. And then when you're ready, you're straightening that left leg out. Take your knee into your nose, left foot, left thumb, warrior one. Same sequence we did on the other side. Sweep those arms all the way up, big breath in. Halfway down as you exhale, wing those arms behind you like a bird. Yes, inhale, scoop up. And open for warrior two as you exhale. Really nice, beautiful. Good, adjust, take your time, find your feet. Left leg is really active, the knee is forward, right up over the ankle, and the right leg is super straight and strong. Balance your shoulders right up over your hips, and breathe. You're trying to touch opposite sides of the room, but at the same time, you're trying to pull your shoulder blades together. Make sure you're not leaning forward or back. Balance the shoulders right up over the hips, yeah. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Another full round of breath. Maybe close your eyes, zip up your belly, right? Just try to be in the space. Sometimes less is more. Just sink into the pose. Flip your left palm, reach way up, try to touch the back corner of the room. Your right hand is light. There is no weight on that right hand. Maybe even take it away. Take another breath, find space into your left side body, and then left forearm taps left thigh, side angle. We can make some circles into that right shoulder. Make some big circles, find a little space, forward and back. Yeah, breathe. It's really just to distract you from what's happening in the legs right now. And then land that right arm wherever it wants to be, either forward to the front of the room, bicep by the ear, straight up to the sky, or a hand at the hip. Now lean back, push your hips and lungs forward, roll your heart open, breathe for 3. Big breaths for 2. If you want to make this more difficult, you take the bottom arm away, 1. Push into your back foot, pull yourself right back up, warrior 2. Yes, really nice job. As you exhale, take your hands to the ground and pause. Your right knee can come to the earth for modification, or you can step your left foot right on top of your right and come into side plank. It's up to you. Modification is nice, especially if you have something going on in the shoulders. Push down to lift up, and then maybe some circles in the left arm, big swooping circles. Yeah, mobility in the shoulders is connected to lower back discomfort, right? So we want to make sure those shoulders are nice and loose. Push down to lift up, one more breath, hips high, and then hands to the ground. Take it through one more vinyasa, I know you can do it, or pull the hips to down dog, whichever feels best for you. Yes, really nice. From downward facing, drop your knees to the ground. Sit your hips to your heels and find child's pose. Yes, if your shoulders have had enough, you can take your hands down, knuckle side of the hand down by your shins and just release the shoulders. If you want a little bit more action into the triceps, you can bring the hands to touch the shoulder blades and walk the elbows forward, whatever would feel good for you, right? This is a rest. This is a resting pose. It should feel restful, right? Should feel spacious. Again, putting those blankets in between your calves and your hamstrings if you need some support. And we breathe. Take a breath in. Long, deep exhale. Let go of any of that. Really nice. Perfect. And then from here, you're going to go ahead and bring your knees together. Walk your hands back towards your shins. And then come on up to your knees, right? So you're gonna come, so you're standing right up to your knees. So your knees are directly underneath your hips, so they could be hip width distance apart, maybe not. We're just gonna take a nice little camel to open up the chest. As we've done a lot of forward folding, so we're just open up the chest. So take your hands behind your lower back, so you can make fists and kind of push them in the lower back, or you can make your fingertips up to your kidneys. Whatever you're doing, just squeeze your elbows together. Try to touch them on the upper back. They won't really touch, but that's the action. And then drop the shoulders down and away. Start to engage the kneecaps, lift up, push the hips forward, and then lift your chest right up to the sky. I like to keep my chin on my chest. You can do that, or you can completely open the throat. It's up to you. We breathe here for 3. This is difficult to breathe. Push the hips forward. Don't let yourself collapse for 2. One more round of breath. Inhale, come right back up. Now as you exhale, I want you to curl your toes under and sit to toes pose. Yes, curl your toes under, sit your hips to your heels, let your hands rest in your lap, and then we'll just take some shoulder circles. Bring the shoulders right up, exhale, roll it down. So just little shoulder circles. You don't have to move your arms. You can if you want, just shoulders up and back, yeah, whatever you want to do. Big breath in and breath out. Toes pose in itself is a lot of work, so one more, 5 little circles, and then take your hands to the ground and tap out your toes. Tap out the tops of your feet. Give yourself a little love, and then we're going to come right back into one more little heart opener, one more camel. So come right back up. If you have more space and you can touch your hands to your heels as you go back, feel free to do that, but try not to collapse into the chest, okay? So hands to the lower back at first, wherever you're going. Push the hips forward, and then lift the heart up. And breathe. We're here for 5 breaths. If you have enough space, the hands walk back and find the heels. If not, you can stay as you are. Yes, and then push the hips forward, lift the heart up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. 2. Yeah, nice. Beautiful, Mary. Yeah, one more round of breath. Now squeeze your front body, pull yourself right back up. Try not to swim up. We come up together, and then bring your knees together, tuck your toes. One more time, toes pose. Sit right back into the heels. Yes, good. And then we'll make shoulder circles the other way. So shoulder shrugs, pull them right up to your ears and forward. Yeah, maybe drop your chin to your chest, maybe close your eyes. Those back bends can kind of offer up a lot of sensation. All the hard work is done. We're about to find our way to the floor. And then when you're ready, come on out of that, tap your toes, tap, 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 tap. Really nice. Send your right leg straight back behind you, and then step your right foot to the pinky side of your right hand. So pull it right up. And then wiggle and squiggle the left leg as far back as you can. And you're in this little lizard pose. So if you have anything at home that you could stack up to give yourself a little support, feel free to do that. You can stay right here, or you can curl your back toes under, pick the back knee up off the ground. That is going to give you more sensation. Okay? And feel free to move. Find the psoas, this hip flexor. Breathe. Little wiggle, little squiggle. You can rock forward and back on that back heel. Opening things up, the right hip, the left psoas. Breathe. These look great. Feels nice to be on the ground, I bet. They worked hard. And then when you're ready, you can drop the left knee to the ground. Wiggle your right foot slightly more center. Take your hands to either side of your right foot, and then straighten your right leg. Peel all 5 toes back towards your face. You might have to walk your hands closer to you, or take your hands up onto pillows or blocks if you have them. And breathe. Just stretch out this hamstring. Left lung works to the right thigh. Pick up the outer edge of your right hip. And then squeeze your right kneecap so you're not hyperextending that leg. Just find a little freedom in that back body. Beautiful. We're not here forever, just a couple rounds of breath. And then bend back into your front knee. Slide your right knee back to meet your left, tabletop pose. And just switch. Take your left leg straight back. Step your left foot to the pinky side of the left hand. Runner's lunge here. Wiggle the right leg as far back as you can. Keep the left knee right up over the left ankle, so there's not a lot of winging of that knee. For our purposes today, sometimes we open the knee up, but we didn't do a ton of opening of the hip, so left knee can stay connected to the left shoulder, and then just dive the right hip forward and down. If you want to curl those back toes under, you curl them. And then maybe some movement. Maybe there's stillness. Maybe you find elbows to the ground if you have further to go. There's a lot, right, of options. The beauty of the practice is that it never has to be the same. It's just how you're feeling today. We have to check in. We have to know what's going on in our body on any given day, and the practice will differ. Sometimes it feels great. Sometimes it feels really, really hard. When you're ready, you can drop that right knee to the ground, hands to either side of the left foot, maybe wiggle it slightly more center, and then straighten your left leg. A little half split here. Peel all 5 toes up and back towards your face. Take a full round of breath in. Yeah, good. And nothing says the left leg has to be straight. We can bend the knee, we can soften. We want to just find length into the back of that left leg. Maybe even the calf, the Achilles, as you pull all 5 toes up and back. And you can feel the practice winding down, right? So things are slowing. And then when you're ready here, you let that go, bend back into your front knee, plant your hands, step it back to your knees, yeah, and then find your way to your seat. And then roll all the way to your back. Right? However you want to get there, go ahead and roll back. Hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a nice little squeeze. Yeah, should feel pretty good. We're just going to take some final twists here. Take your right knee into your right shoulder, extend your left leg straight forward. The heel comes all the way to the ground. Try to press the heel away from you as far as you can and push the left hamstring into the ground, and then bind up your right shin, pull your knee as close as you can to your shoulder. If you have further to go and you want a little more space into your right hip, you can take your right hand into half happy baby on the right leg. The knee would come straight down to the shoulder and the heel straight up to the sky. So that'll give you a little more sensation in the hip. If that causes you to roll out of the pose, then you ditch that, right? And you just keep the knee into the chest. Yeah. Be where you are. Give yourself what you need. Take a full breath in. Stay for your exhale. And then you're just gonna pass that knee across your body. Take a little twist. Yeah, right shoulder stays heavy into the ground. You can turn your head over your right shoulder, your right lung. Create lots of space between the right hip and the right shoulder. The breath is just as important here as it's been. So breathe, breathe, breathe. Nice and big. Feel that oxygen get in there. You've created a lot of space today, so trying to find those little nooks, right, to find all of that good stuff. Fill it with love, prana, your energy. And then unwind this. You can take both legs long, both arms up overhead, stretch your body, nice full body stretch, and then pull your left knee into your left shoulder. Give yourself a little squeeze. Right leg extended. Really bind the hamstring. I like to work the webbing of my hands a little bit. Kind of work out all the toxins that build up in the joints, and then press the right heel straight away. Again, if you want a little more sensation, we're left foot into left happy baby. Right, and this little half happy baby. Otherwise, knee to chest. Right leg extends straight and strong. Yeah, if that gives you any sort of not great sensation in the lower back, you back off. It's all about kind of adjusting and noticing what the body's saying body. Yeah. Big full round of breath. Left lung stays really, really heavy. You can turn your head over your left shoulder. You can close your eyes. Starting to soften. The effort starts to leave you. Really nice. These final twists are meant to be very restorative, so just let them be. Even if you have little people running around you, or animals, or a spouse working from home. When you're ready, you come on back from that and then plant your feet to the ground. We'll take one little bridge lift. So if you have pillows, you can stack them underneath your tailbone. It just would feel nice to elevate the feet after this. So feel free to take a supported bridge. Feet are hip width distance apart and parallel if you can get them. And then root into your feet and lift your hips up. Now this is where you could slide something underneath the hips if you want. For support. Otherwise, you're staying active here like Mary, and Morgan has the variation of support. If you're ready, you can walk your shoulders underneath you, interlace your hands if you're in that active pose, push down into the forearms, right? If you have this pose of support here, you can always extend your legs straight up to the sky and take Viparita Karani, which is legs up the wall, translates, right? So you can just let the legs go up, and we're breathing, whatever variation you want to be in. A full breath in, a long breath out. Certainly you can stay in this supported variation for as long as you'd like, right? If you've been in the active pose, you're going to start to lower down. Let your knees knock together like an inverted V, and then maybe windshield wipe side to side. Perfect. Good. And when Morgan's ready to come down, we might never get her back. She can come off of that block. Same thing here, she can let the knees knock together, windshield wipe, and then we'll find our way up to a nice comfortable seat, facing whichever direction you want to face, so just any cross-legged seat. We'll take a moment to give ourselves a little bit of gratitude. You can take your palms to press lightly, thumbs connect to the sternum, and just sit up nice and tall, maybe your eyes closed. We'll seal our practice with a final breath together. We inhale and exhale. Bringing the thumbs up to the space between the brows, pressing lightly, bowing down. Thank you for practicing with us today. Namaste. Thank you guys. Have a great day.